How to make the narcissist miss you after yo-yo discarding. Okay, I know a lot of you probably aren't even watching this video. You probably jumped down to the comment section and blasted the fact of why would you even want the narcissist to miss you? And that's a really valid point. So I want to address that right off the bat. This video is actually a remake of a video that I made when I first started my channel about 5 years ago. And it's one of the videos that actually has the most views on my channel. I thought it was time to update this video. So first off, when I made that video, how to make the narcissist miss you after discard, I want to read the comment that I pinned on the channel. It says, "This video is so different from my normal message. I know a lot of you are probably shaking your head. However, the point of this video, if you watch it all the way through, is for those that are stuck and unable to move on. For them, this video is an eye-opener. Sometimes people get stuck in a thought. How could he or she not care? How could I mean so little? How could it not have been real? That thought is like a ball and chain around your ankle, preventing you to move forward. Do I think it's a good idea to live to make a narcissist miss you? No, of course not. But if it motivates those stuck to begin taking action to heal, well, that's another story." So just establishing the fact that this is for people that are stuck in yo-yo discarding, meaning the narcissist discards, reels you back in, discards, reels you back in. Now, this isn't just romantic relationships. Family members do this as well. They treat you so horribly that there's this rupture, and then they pull you back in with the love bombing. And so for people stuck in this scenario, it's awful. And I just want to normalize why you might be stuck is the fact that it has to do with cognitive dissonance. So you pour your feelings into a relationship, or you're dealing with family members that in your mind, family members love you and care. And yet they're doing all of these horrible behaviors that you're enduring, including this sadistic discarding that they do all the time, where now everything is over. So you have these two opposing thoughts and your brain gets stuck in cognitive dissonance. And imagine cognitive dissonance, like here are these two thoughts and your brain is ping-ponging back and forth, trying to wrap its mind around both of these opposite things that don't make sense together. When we're in cognitive dissonance, we can get stuck in that thought pattern where we're bouncing back and forth between these two opposing things that we can't take action. So when we're bridging the gap of the cognitive dissonance, what we're starting to do is help ourselves go from this place of how could they not care to being able to break free, to acceptance, to neutrality with what happened, and then we can move forward. Okay, but sometimes we have to first feel like we have to go through this process of, well, how could they not care? And from that place, there's energy, there's anger, there's frustration. And that gives us the energy to take steps. And these are the steps that are helpful to take from that place of how could they not care? That's horrible. There's more energy in anger than there is in shame. And so the anger pulls us up and helps us to move forward. So here are some steps that we can take from that place that help us to move in a direction of healing and moving forward. And that's what the point of that video was 5 years ago. Of course, when I watch it, I kind of cringe because I was really still in the thick of it. When I started this channel, I was really at the very beginning stages of my healing journey. So it's a bit, I don't know, bit of a throwback for me to watch those videos. But the information I feel is really valuable. So I want to go over the points that I mentioned in that video. Before I do, for those that don't know me, my name is Michele. I'm a survivor of narcissistic abuse. I'm now a trauma-informed recovery coach dedicated to helping people overcome narcissistic abuse and CPTSD. I'm also a somatic experiencing practitioner, which allows me to help people bring their nervous system on the recovery journey as well. And last but not least, I'm the founder of the Thriver School of Transformation, which is a monthly membership where thrivers from all over the world meet live on Zoom and we do the inner work to heal together. So I'll leave all my links here for anyone that's interested. Okay, so step number one, when you're in the process of being discarded, yo-yo discarded again, step number one is to maintain emotional discipline. In other words, when you see the discard coming, and I just want to say this is really hard to do because a narcissist will not discard you when you are expecting it. For example, let's say you're realizing that this is just not healthy for you and you want to end the relationship. It's at that moment where they treat you better. and they actually start changing how they are with you. Now, the purpose of this is not the fact that they're really changing, but rather they get a tremendous amount of narcissistic supply when they're able to reconvince you to trust them again. When they know that you're about to put down those boundaries and you're about to have one foot out the door, the thought that they can reconvince you again is a tremendous amount of narcissistic supply. And so they actually start showing you the things that you've been asking them to do, which is really sad because it shows that they know what you want. They know what makes you happy, and they purposely don't give it, except as bait to reel you back in. So they don't discard you when you're expecting it. They wait until they get you again, and then they discard. And it's like each time they do it, the wound is even more intense. It's more overbearing, and it breaks your spirit even more than the last time. So if this resonates with you, at that moment that you realize, wow, I got sucked in again, and now I'm getting spit out. It's important before that moment happens to understand that it will happen if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, because they are predictable creatures. They are creatures of habit. So when it happens, what you want to prepare yourself for is to remember that what they're hoping to do is get some kind of reaction from you. They want to see you sad. They want to see you angry. They want to see you desperate. They want to see you in fear. They want to see you begging or over explaining and trying to convince them. Any of those emotions, that's what they're hoping when they discard you. What they're not hoping for is a neutral reaction. And so if you can have a neutral reaction, and what that means is hopefully before it happens, you're watching this video and you're really wrapping your mind around the fact that it will happen and it has nothing to do with you, but their need to push away and pull back, their need to control and feel like they can control the emotions of someone else. So when that happens and you're neutral and you're like, okay, I agree, this isn't healthy. I'm totally on board. It's over. I'm glad we're having this conversation. You're actually giving them what they least expect. There's no emotion there. They're not going to like that. And don't be surprised if as a result, they try to twist it into making you think that you're the one that doesn't care, but they care. And by your reaction, you're not caring about the relationship. Be careful you don't get sucked in if they flip it because they're not seeing an emotional reaction from you. If they do that, just remember to be like, no, I'm just totally in agreement with you. In fact, I got to go. I'm going to get my things, or I have some stuff I have to do. I hope nothing but the best for you. If you can have that neutral reaction, for those that are stuck, when you can kind of see this reaction in them, you start to see something different. It kind of first, it opens your eyes because you start to see like, oh my God, like this is exactly what's happening. Everything that I'm hearing in these videos, this is what I'm living. As soon as I do this, they want me back. It starts to bring it into your conscious awareness, the game that they're playing, and it helps you to feel a tiny bit more empowered. And so again, we're trying to find places to come from those moments, those glimmers of empowerment to move us in the direction of healing. And so that would lead me to the step number 2. And this has to do with your social media and your conversations with friends and family. Now, some people say go no contact. If that's something that resonates with you and feels right, then by all means. But for those that can't, so regardless of whether you go no contact or not, what you post and what you focus on in this moment is either going to feed their narcissistic supply or it's going to feed your empowerment. My suggestion, and that's all it is my suggestion, but my suggestion is to post no negative emotions. And that could be even memes or quotes that are talking about a broken heart or talking about family. I know some people will tell me, no, but I just posted that because I want to jab them and I wanted them to know. They don't know. They don't see it that way. What you see as a jab, they see as, oh, look, they can't stop thinking about me. Oh, look at how they're acting like they're not bothered by this last discard, but I can tell by their posts that they are. And what they're always looking for is your negative emotions. And if they can't see them face to face, seeing them on your social media is just as powerful for them. They're getting narcissistic supply. So you don't want to share any of your painful struggles on social media at this point. And honestly, like our wounds should be something we only share with people that tend to them, right? People that have earned our trust. And so we can share with them. And so if you don't have anybody in your life doing that, support groups are a great place to really start being able to share in a place where you're going to get witnessed, where you're going to get validated, where you're going to be believed, and your emotions and your story is not going to be used to hurt you. So just throwing that out there. If you need an outlet for your painful, wounded emotions, then journaling is a great thing to do, as well as, again, the support groups. Number 3 is to make an inventory of your friends and or family that you have in common with this person, because these are the people that are going to start coming around to talk about the narcissist. And they're usually going to do it in a caring way, or they're going to say things that make it like the narcissist cares. Like they may say something like, oh, so-and-so, I ran into so-and-so and he or she was, really sad. They're really concerned about you and they care so much about you. And they were talking so highly about you. And they really sounded, like they still care. Now, at that moment, your blood is probably going to boil because you know that that's all a facade. That care that they show to other people is never what you see behind closed doors. At that moment, just understand that this is their way of trying to get information through other people. And they can use people that weren't even close to them. They can use your best friend. I have had clients where they're like, my best friend didn't even like them when we were dating. Now they're super close. Or this family member, now they're best friends and I'm the odd one out. Like I have seen it all. I have seen narcissists divide people unbelievably. So be aware that everything you share is going to get back to the person. And if you share any kind of spite, like, oh yeah, they're saying that, but they're so full of this, that, and the other thing, and they're liars, or they never cared, and they did this, they did that. If you come across that way, it's going to cause people to look at you in a negative light and them in a positive light, because they're not talking about you that way. They're talking about you highly. So it does something in the minds of people. So that's one thing to remember. And the second thing is now they're going to go back and the narcissist is going to be like, oh, they're not posting anything, but look at how angry they still are. Look at all that resentment. I hear it through the way their friends or family are telling me that they're talking about me. So when they say, oh, so-and-so was so great and they're so sad and they care so much about you, it's better to be like, thank you for sharing that. And honestly, I hope nothing but the best for him or her, and then change the subject. And if the person keeps trying to bring it back, then you might have to end that conversation in a polite way. In these last 3 steps, what we're doing is we're cutting off any emotional supply that the narcissist is trying to get from you. By not giving supply to them, you can start replenishing you with your emotional energy. And that leads me to the next step. The first 3 are all about not doing things, right? We're refraining from doing things. Well, if we're stopping from doing several things, we need to replace it with actions that help. And this is the step where you start rebuilding you. You start getting in touch with your passions, the things that you loved that you weren't allowed to do because of the narcissist, or you were made to feel selfish for doing. You start putting time and energy into you, getting back in touch with your values. And honestly, at this point, you probably are going to need some kind of outside help. So getting a coach, getting a therapist, joining a group where people have been there and get it and are now healing can help inspire you as well. I'll leave the link to Thriver School of Transformation for anyone that's interested in that. But it's important to get yourself some help and support in this stage, because narcissistic abuse is not just about leaving someone toxic. It's then about rebuilding what they rewired inside of you. It's almost like they created a virus in your subconscious and it's affected your nervous system. It affects your brain. It affects your emotional states, your belief systems. And so there's a rebuilding that has to take place. When you do that and you're rebuilding, what you are basically doing in this, with these steps, is you're getting to a place of, you remember that cognitive dissonance. How could they not care with all the things I've done and all the ways I've done emotional gymnastics to try to make them happy, to I can let go and move on. And you get to this place where you can actually say, and it always brings to mind this movie, called The Labyrinth. And I used to watch it as a kid. It's so funny how that phrase always stood out to me, even as a kid. But the actress says to, and the actor was David Bowie in the movie, where she looks at him and she's like, you have no power over me. And it's like just standing in her truth ends that control that he had over her. And it's the same thing with the narcissist. When we get to that place, when we do these steps, we get to this place where we can say, you have no power over me. And then we can move on. And so when we do these steps, does the narcissist miss you? Yes and no. Yes, they miss the control. They miss seeing your reactions. They miss the power of playing with your emotions. They miss feeling like they can pull you in and spit you out whenever they feel like it. They miss you doing mental gymnastics to please them. Do they miss you in the intimate sense of this person was valuable and I did something wrong and I hurt them and I want to change to be with them? No, because that would require empathy, love, self-reflection, honesty, and humility, things that narcissists don't possess. So by doing these steps, you get the narcissist to miss you, but not miss you in the way that healthy people do. And hopefully, as you're doing these steps, by that point, you won't care if they miss you. Because if you're anything like me and so many other survivors on this journey, I realized after all toxic relationships that the person I missed the most was myself, the real me. And by getting me back, you never want to be in a toxic relationship again. You never want to give you up to make someone else happy. So I hope this video helps you. Let me know in the comment section below.